Get a higher level of DIY with Halo from Pulsar, the professional-grade do-it-yourself security and home automation system that turns your smartphone into a universal remote control for your entire home. Lock and unlock your doors remotely. Control your lights from anywhere. Turn appliances on and off. Save money by managing your thermostat. Arm or disarm your alarm system and receive notifications so you know who's coming home. Create scenes like movie night or arrive home, where one touch of a button triggers a whole sequence of events. You can also schedule these scenes to happen automatically. If that's not convenient enough, Halo's fully integrated with Amazon Echo.
Alexa, tell SmartLink to turn on the fireplace.
Setting fireplace to on.
Keep an eye on your home from anywhere with our industry-leading cameras, featuring high-definition video resolution, night vision, and two-way voice, so you can stay in contact with your kids, your pets, or even your elderly parents. Halo's higher level of DIY starts with professional-grade security that most do-it-yourself systems lack. Military-grade encrypted security, smoke, medical, and even flood sensors keep you notified, but are also professionally monitored 24/7 to keep your home safe. Halo comes fully equipped with Z-Wave, one of the most advanced and simple-to-use smart home communications platforms, giving you total control to automate your home the way you want. The Halo advantage is having your security, automation, and video surveillance all integrated into one system. This integration is what sets Halo apart from the competition. The unlocking of a door can disarm your security system. Door sensors used on your liquor cabinet or gun safe can trigger a notification to your phone with video confirmation of who's in there. Arming your security system can automatically lock your doors or close your blinds. Our flood sensor not only notifies you when it detects water, but can turn off your water valve automatically to prevent further damage. Safety sensors like the smoke detector and panic pendant can be set up to trigger scenes like turning on the lights and unlocking doors. Advancements in wireless technology and pre-programming makes Halo simple. If you can stick up a sensor, screw in a light bulb, and download an app, you can install your Halo system. But if you do need a hand, Pulsar Halo's 24/7 customer support is always there to assist. So don't get stuck in long-term contracts or pay hundreds more for systems that do far less. You take control and have security on your terms. Automate your home the way that you want, with a system that takes complicated and expensive and makes it simple and affordable. Pulsar's Halo. Well, here we are again, Pulsar Halo Nation. This is Big T and Pulsar Halo TV live from Minnesota. And we are going to talk about some techie stuff tonight. Everybody wants to know more about their hub and what it can do and how to make things work better. And so that's what we do here on Wednesday nights on Pulsar Halo TV. So tonight, if you haven't got the message, we're going to talk about a couple of things that I guess have become an issue just recently, just because we had some updates come through with SecureNet, and so we had a couple of issues with hubs not being able to communicate, and I just wanted to show you out there in the field, if you end up having some kind of communication problem with your hub, an easy, quick fix to rectify the situation. So let me test my other camera here. Okay, there we go. So what I'm going to do tonight is we're going to take you inside the Pulsar Halo Hub. You've all probably got one of these. If you're on here tonight, you've got one of these. It's working in your home right now. So what happens is, and this is just something that happened recently, SecureNet pushed an update through. It was supposed to be some other foreign country and whatever. So it did affect a couple of hubs. Not a huge amount of them, but there was a couple of them that had communication error problems to where your app couldn't communicate with your hub. Well, the reason for that is the hub itself couldn't communicate with the server properly. And we come to find out it wasn't a real hard fix. It was a real pain for a couple of folks, but once we figured out what it was real simple to fix. So what I'm going to do is just kind of cover that here quick tonight, and while we're inside the hub, we're going to go over some communication platforms to make sure people get get a better understanding of the different communications platforms that Pulsar Halo's hub offers, because that is really one of the big differences that our hub has that puts it a step ahead of the competition, is that it includes these multiple communication platforms all in one system. And so we're going to cover that a little bit tonight. So first off, let's talk about this hub. Let me move some stuff out the way. So this is your Pulsar Halo hub. It's plugged in, lights are on. This one's not working exactly correct, so this is not the way the lights are supposed to look. But it's not our home's hub, so that's why. So let me switch to this camera view here. So what we're going to do is go through what I like to call a soft reset. Now, we can sometimes do this over the phone, but if you want to save yourself some time, you can actually manually do a soft reset on your hub. And what that entails is basically just killing the power. I don't know if you've ever, IT guys, a lot of times they'll say when you have a problem with your computer, first thing they want you to do is reboot the computer. We do the same thing with copiers. You know, I run a copier business for 19 years. First thing I tell people to do is power cycle the machine, which is basically shutting it down and rebooting the computer that's inside the copier. Well, this hub is the same thing. It's just a computer, and it gets confused sometimes. It's technology. That's what happens. Cool part is, us at Pulsar Halo, with our DIY expertise, we're learning some of this stuff. So not only can we help our customers, but we can also take care of some things on our own, so we don't have to, don't have to wait for, a phone call to customer service when it's not convenient. You can just do it real quick. I mean, we had a couple of people that this happened to just tonight. So, and it was just like I said, it was just from a server update, and some things got miscommunicated. So let's go back to the hub here. Oh, there's Clayton Francis. He's actually one of the guys that called me with this situation. Clayton, you never called me back to let me know if it fixed it or not. I'm hoping it did by doing a soft reboot, because that's one of the things we're going to go over here tonight. And that's a lot of times what we cover at Pulsar Halo TV is questions that people have that call into the customer support line. We could just address those situations right here live. So if anybody else runs into them, that can make things happen. So a couple of shout outs here. We've got Danica Guzman up at Grand Forks. Good to see you, Danica. Jana Schumacher Malberg. Oh, that's a hot chick. I should try and get her number. Jean Marie, Brendan Ireland, Scott Clementson. Scott Clementson says, hey. Jean Marie tuning in. Thanks again. Clayton's on here. Alonzo Guzman, Dean Johnson. Let's see. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. Let's see what's over here. So anyway, so let's get into this here right now. I'm going to go to this B cam. Now you can see. So this is your hub. So when you want to do a reboot of the hub, obviously you want to power cycle it, right? So we unplug the power. Oh, but the challenge is, which is a good thing, is the Pulsar Halo hub has a battery backup in it. So that's really not power cycling the hub. So what you do have to do is you have to pop your button open, whether you've got an old one like this or a new one. There's just a button on the top, and you just push that button and then pry the white cover off. And now the cover comes off, and that exposes, yes, a naked hub. It's undressed. That's my notification telling me that the hub's been tampered with. So then the next thing you do is, because this battery backup is what's keeping the power to it, we're just going to pop this cable out. It's just a plug. Just unplug the battery, and you'll watch these lights here will go out as soon as I unplug the battery. Boom. Now it's killed all power to the hub. So you got to plug the hub battery back in. Now the hub's not going to come on, because the hub has software built into it to where it only fires up when power is applied to it, when AC power is applied to it. This is just a backup battery. So what we've done here is basically we're power cycling this hub, or what we like to call a soft reboot. And now we plug this thing in, and you will watch those lights come on as soon as I plug this in. And now it'll start doing its self-test. And basically for these purposes here, for doing the soft reboot, now you can just put the cover back on. Make sure the bottom gets put in first, and then snap the top into place, and you're good to go. So now all you have to do is wait for these lights to light up like they're supposed to. Top one should be flashing. The next 4 lights should be solid green. The next 2 lights should not be lit, and the bottom light should be green. And so that's what your hub should look like. So that's basically your soft reboot. Now after this, now go back on your app, check your app, make sure you've got communication. Once all these lights get lit back up, then check and see if your app has communication and if the error that's on your app went away. So there you go, that's a soft reboot. Now let me show you, if you ever have to do this, which we hope you don't, but there is also a hard reboot on here. If you look over here, if you ever have to do a hard reboot, customer support might say, oh, we need to do a hard reboot. This button right here, it's just a little push button that's inside the hub. You have to hold that down for 10 to 15 seconds, and that does a hard reboot. Now, caution, warning, warning, caution. I'm showing you this. If you do a hard reboot, it wipes your hub clean. All your sensors, all your Z-Wave devices, everything is wiped clean. So your hub is just like brand new, so you're going to have to go and pair all your sensors. So I'm warning you, don't do a hard reboot unless you absolutely necessarily are recommended by customer support to do it, because it's going to get rid of everything that's connected to your hub. So you have to start all over again. So, but that's where the hard reboot button is, if anybody ever asks you to have to do a hard reboot. Now, if your hub is up and running, you should never have to. But there may come a time someday when one of us out there has to do this hard reboot. So since I got this hub open, one of the things that I do want to talk about, and we talk about I've talked about it once before, but it's an important thing, is the different communication platforms that are in our hub. Our hub is unique because it has all these communication platforms built into it. A lot of other companies, I want to say a lot, other companies, these are extra add-ons and things they charge extra for and things like that. The unique part about our hub is its security, home automation, and video surveillance all in one system. Now, when you've got the whole shebang, you're basically using 5 communication platforms to run your entire smart home. The first one is your Wi-Fi. If you have cameras, your cameras run off Wi-Fi. Contrary to what a lot of people believe, your cameras do not connect to this hub. This hub has nothing to do with your cameras. The cameras connect through the internet to a server somewhere in the world, and they get directed to your app. So just to make that clear, your cameras do not have to be in proximity of this hub. They just have to have in proximity of your Wi-Fi router, which mine's up here on this top shelf here. So your cameras do not communicate through this hub, which is another reason why, if you, let's say, get 3 or 4 cameras and you want to put 3 of them in your home, but you want to put another one in another state, for instance. For example, when my mom was in an apartment in North Dakota, I wanted to be able to keep an eye on what she was doing. As long as there's Wi-Fi, that camera gets directed to my app, because I used my app to enroll the camera. So my camera knows that the only person that can see it is someone who has access to my app. So it gets directed to my app, not going through the hub, because my hub's here in Minnesota, my mom's over in North Dakota, so it was not communicating through the hub. So just to be clear on that. Other thing to be clear on, the cameras are not military-grade encrypted with Cryptex. A lot of people say our cameras are military-grade encrypted. That is incorrect. The cameras are not military-grade encrypted. They are secured through a private VPN. So they are very secure. The only person that has access to them is you, who has your password. But the cameras are not, I repeat, not military-grade encrypted. You'll sound like an idiot when you're talking to somebody who knows something about it if you say something like that. So, just letting you know, that is incorrect. The military-grade encryption has to do with our security and safety sensors. You know, our motion sensors, our Trident sensors, our nano sensors. Those are all military grade encrypted with a cryptology, whatever. And the reason for that is so somebody cannot hack your security system. You don't want your security system to be vulnerable. Well, you don't want your camera system to be vulnerable either, but it's run through a separate system, not military grade encryption by Cryptex. It's run through private VPN servers that are secured through private VPN passwords and usernames and things like that. So just to be clear, I want you to sound educated when you're talking about this thing. Now, if you look at the hub, let me give you an example here. That military grade encryption, these here are the antennas. There's two antennas up top here. These are the two antennas that communicate with these safety sensors and security sensors that we have here. So these kind of devices are what is communicating through this antenna right here. So that's one of the communication platforms in the hub. We've got other devices. Oh, I wish I had Z-Wave devices, whether it's a switch, door lock, garage door controller, you name it, whatever it is. You'll see that there's this card right here. This is a Z-Wave card. All our Pulsar Halo hubs that we get through our website come with the Z-Wave card already installed in it. The Z-Wave card is like a $40 or $50 option. But ours all come with that Z-Wave card in it. That Z-Wave card communicates through these little antennas right here, and that communicates with your home automation devices. So to be clear on what that means is your door locks, your thermostat, your light switches, your Z-Wave bulbs, your garage door controllers are not communicating through the same platform. This uses a military-grade encrypted RF radio frequency. So that's one. This is a totally separate type of communication. It's like a cell phone versus a CB. You know, you got two different communication platforms, but they're integrated into one hub. So they're separate communication platforms integrated into one hub. Now there's a third type that's also in this hub, and it does not have an antenna, but it's called Bluetooth LE. And Bluetooth LE is what communicates with this pin pad. This pin pad and a couple other devices, but primarily this pin pad is what that Bluetooth LE is for communication. So it uses a third communication platform as Bluetooth LE for communicating with this pin pad. And there's also there's panic devices, you know, arm and disarm buttons, panic buttons. Those also use Bluetooth LE. So that's a third communication platform that's totally independent and totally separate. And then if you have a cell card, which that's what this is right here, this is the cell card. If you look at that, let's try and zoom in on it. This is a cell card. And that snaps in this slot 1. You know, this one's module slot 2. This one's module slot 1. Now, if you look this one, because this is an older hub, it's got the single antenna. The new ones that we use, the LTE ones, have dual antennas on it. Just so you know, this one will look a little different than the other. If you get a cell card now, it's going to have two antennas. It's going to have one that goes down here and one that goes up here. So you'll have two antennas. But that's your cell card that you could pop in. And so that's basically a fourth communication platform that our systems can have on them. Now, the cell card is obviously an optional thing. It's not going to be on every hub. But if you opt to have the cell card in it, now you've got 4 communication platforms that are packed into one little tiny hub. And that's one of the big selling points of our system, is having all these communication platforms into one simple to use application on your phone, plus video on it at the same time. That video is directed to where it's all integrated, and that's a big fancy word. Our hub is fully integrated with security, home automation, video surveillance, and cell service. So you get all those into one platform. So Something else I was thinking of when I was talking about this. I should have wrote it down. Oh, there is one thing. One little tech tip that I'll point out to you. When you open your hub, when they call it, it's a term called tamper. You'll get a tamper alert. I got one on my phone here. When I popped this hub open, it sent me a communication from my hub saying, your hub has been tampered, or the tamper detection has been enabled on your hub. And that's with any device, whether it's a motion sensor, the hub itself. If anybody messes with this hub when the system is armed, it's going to set the alarm off. So if this system was armed when I popped that open, the alarm would go off because it assumes somebody unauthorized is trying to disable your hub, which eliminates the smash and grab and the the messing with it and unplugging it and things like that. If anybody messes with this hub when the system is armed, it's going to set the alarm off. Now, where the tamper is on this, if you look real close, it's just that little spring. It says cover tamper on it. And all that little spring does is when the cover's on, it pushes that spring. And now it says it's not tampered anymore. When you let off on that spring, you can see that little yellow light came on because there's that notification that somebody's tampering with my hub. Well, there are 2 tampers in this hub. And I ran into this one time because I had dropped the hub before we installed it, and I could not figure out why it kept saying tamper, because I could see that the tamper was, I know it's been being pushed. Well, what happened, if you look right down at the bottom, you see that little thing that says wall tamper? And that little tiny micro switch right here, there's a little button. You can't see it. I'm trying to get this thing to focus. Anyway, so there's that little button right there, and what had happened is when the hub had dropped, I'm going to show you what had happened. The board came loose in the hub, and it was still in there like this, but this bottom had popped out, so that little tamper switch right there was not pushed in. It was out. And see what happens is, see, my phone's going nuts because somebody's tampering with my hub. When this hub goes in here, it pushes that little tamper switch. Yes, I know. Somebody's tampering with my hub. Yes. So anyway, that little switch, if you ever happen to drop your hub and it pops out of, the board happens to pop out and it still keeps showing a tamper, it's because that little wall tamper is down there. See how it's pushed up against that piece of plastic? So there's 2 tamper switches in this hub. The cover tamper, which, if you read, that's what it says, the cover tamper. And I don't know why they call that thing a wall tamper. I suppose because the board comes off the wall of the hub, whatever. So that's the tamper switch on that. All your sensors, your motion sensor, that has a tamper switch as well. That little button right there, tamper switch. If somebody takes the cover off your motion sensor, it's going to set the alarm off if it's armed. If it's not armed, it's going to send you a tamper notification on your phone, like these 500 tamper notifications that I just got. Yeah, Malberg demo system tamper. So there you go. Just a little bit of inside scoop on what this hub is, what it does. There's a few buttons on the side. There's this button here. That's for, if you have to enroll a new sensor, maybe you get a new motion sensor. You put the hub in enrollment mode by holding this button down, and you don't even have to have the cover off. So I'm going to put it on like this hub is mounted. And so you hold this button down till it beeps, and now it's ready to enroll a new sensor. So all you'd have to do to enroll a new sensor, you got this motion sensor here, and I pop it open, take the battery out of it, and I push this tamper button here, it just enrolled that motion sensor. So now this motion sensor is enrolled with this hub. Now I'm not going to leave it that way because I'm going to put the battery tab back in here so I don't drain the battery on this motion sensor because it's still a good one. But that's how you would learn in a new device. If you got a new device shipped after you'd already, if you ordered this motion sensor with your hub when you bought it, it'll come already paired with it. But if you ordered this after the fact, that's just a quick way to add a device to your hub. So, and then when you're done adding the device, you can just hold that button down till it, and now it takes it out. You can see that flashing red light went away. So, anyway, so that's the info I've got for inside the hub. And what a soft reboot is. Like I said, a soft reboot is basically just power cycling the hub. Taking the power away from it by unplugging it and unplugging the battery, plugging both back in, and bam, you're power cycled. So that's just a quick way to, if you're having some kind of communication issues and you're handy enough to do that, try that first, and you'll be surprised as to how many times that might fix an issue that you have. I notice it with all kinds of equipment. Anything computerized technology like this just likes to be rebooted every once in a while. So luckily our hubs, it's very rare that it ever happens, but every once in a while it does. So anyway, that's all I got for tonight, guys. Remember to learn about your system, become educated about it so you can sound intelligent when you're talking about it, but it just takes some time. You know, you have to take the time to learn about it. It's just like anything. If I were to ask you about your favorite hobby, you could probably talk to me about it all day long, because you've got a lot of things that you like about it. Get to know your hub. It's a lot of things to like about it. Number one, knowing about your hub will sell more hubs. You sell more systems, you make some money. Nothing wrong with that. Pays a lot better than a hobby does, so might as well take the time to get to learn it. So anyway, go out there, do something different. What was your quote today? You need determination more than you need motivation. Many people wait to get motivated. I learned it as action creates motivation. So just go out and do it. Create some motivation. So that's it from Pulsar Halo TV. Big T signing off for tonight. You guys have a great night. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.